Hi, I'm Laura Swanson. I'm the Science Curriculum Coach, and I'm making this video for the MTSS facilitators so that they can help support their science teachers planning with the instructional unit guides. And I wanted a way to do it so that you could go back and watch it later if you needed to. I know you have a lot of things being thrown at you at one time, so it's always nice to have that extra support when you need it. A good way to do this would be for you to go ahead and minimize this video and open up an internet browser, because you're going to be going back and forth between the video and the internet looking at some of the documents that we have. So if you could take a moment and minimize this video, you'll still hear me talking, and just open up an internet browser. I'll wait. Thanks. Okay, hopefully everybody has an internet browser open, and that will allow us, like I said, to go back and forth between things. We're going to go ahead and get started here with what you can do to help your science teachers. The instructional unit guides are new this year for the teachers. They haven't had any upfront training. They're struggling with how to use it. So any help that you could give them would be greatly appreciated. Let's begin here. We're going to say this is a situation. You have an 8th grade science team that is requesting help in planning Unit 2. They know they need to use the new instructional unit guides, but they're just not really sure how to use them. So you want to be able to provide that support. You're going to need the 8th grade instructional unit guide sample. We didn't do the whole thing because it's really long. And a unit planning sheet. And those were provided for you at Friday Learning Lab. They're also available on the portal. So let's first go to the Science Portal page, because you're going to need to make sure that you can show your teachers where to find the resources that they need. And we are putting everything for science on the Science Portal page, and that way we can communicate, here is the official site where you can find things. I know a lot of teachers don't like to use the portal page, but it's something we're going to have them do. Otherwise, they're just going to have too many places to find things, and it just gets too confusing. So always direct them to the Science Portal page first. I'm going to give you a moment to get up on the portal page, and I'm going to be getting on it as well, so that we'll have the same thing to look at. I cheated and I logged in earlier, so I'm on it, but it may take you a few minutes. Okay, hopefully you are on the Science Portal page. When you get on there, it is going to look like basically what's on my screen. I'm going to go ahead back to the PowerPoint here, because I do have some things that may help you. When you're on the portal page, you're going to go to Secondary Instructional Unit Guides, and then you'll go to the actual grade level, and then you'll pull up, there's two folders usually. There's a resource folder, and then there's the actual instructional unit guide. That resource folder is where we're putting any information that teachers need to use during their instruction. It's also where we'll have like the unit planning guide sheet, science planning for lessons, that type of thing. So anything that the teachers will need, it's just kind of a folder for them to get things for that's specific to that grade level. So you want to go ahead and make sure that you know that this is where you find the 8th grade unit guide. You do not have to download that or anything right now. You can if you want, but I would like for you to go ahead and open that up. You should have the sample copy that we provided for you at the training, so that you'll be able to look at that as well. This brings up a pretty good point, and that is that a lot of teachers like to have a hard copy of the instructional unit guide, and there's not a problem with that. The thing that I would like for you to remind the teachers is that these are living documents, so we are updating them as needed. We find, spelling errors and links that don't work and all that. Instead of just leaving it, we are updating as needed. So the electronic version may be different than the download they have if they've, downloaded a while ago. The other thing is that the electronic version does have live links on it, which is really nice because then the teachers don't have to put in addresses. They just click and go. The ideal way for your teachers to use this document during a planning session is to have a hard copy to write on, to have the unit sheet to write on, and then to also have the living electronic document open, and that way they can click on the links and it'll make their planning just a little bit faster. And I'd like for you to do this today. I'd like for you to go ahead and make sure you have that unit planning sheet, the hard copy of the sample 8th grade, and then go ahead and have that instructional unit guide open electronically. The first thing I'd like to do is I'd like to take a little bit of time so that you know the instructional unit guide. Like I said, these are new for your teachers as well, so they don't know it really well either. So this is one thing that you could definitely do, is take them through a little tour of what's on the instructional unit guide. And you can do that, using this PowerPoint. There's also a video that's going to be made for the teachers that will do this as well, and that you could just have them during their PD session watch it individually or as a group. And I will let you know as soon as that's ready and post it. We do want the teachers that are working on the instructional unit guide team to have a chance to view it before we send it out there, because they'll get questions about it. So let's look at the first page of that instructional unit guide. You're going to see 2 links on there that are very important. The first one is actually going to take you to the Next Gen Science website. So if you click on it, it takes you to the website. And this is the official website of our standards. It's where all of our standards are located. You click on this tab right here to get to the standards. Now, I'm not going to take you into this site and make you go through them because your science teachers have had quite a bit of training on it. Hopefully, they've been to the site quite a bit, and they shouldn't need a lot of assistance. If they do, it might be better just to have me come out and work with them. You are welcome to go on here and become familiar with it, and if you feel comfortable leading them, that's fine. But it's not something I expect, for everybody out there to be able to navigate through all of this. If you want help, just let me know. The other site that you'll need that's on the front of there, the second site right here, takes you to what we call the Hub. And this is a site that's hosted by the National Science Teachers Association. Everything on this site is Next Gen verified, which is really nice. You don't have to be an NSTA member to use the site, but your members are able to save things and then directly access it later. So it's nice if they are a member that they use that. There are things up here like professional learning, which are videos that will help you with the Next Gen standards themselves. They have things to do with planning. There are actual lessons that are available that teachers can use that are definitely Next Gen lessons. So it's a really good site to use, and we are encouraging teachers to make this one of their top sites that they go to. I'm sorry, it's a live link, by the way, on this. So if you do actually hit that, you will go to the live link of that. So let's go back here on the PowerPoint, and we want to go back to the instructional unit guide itself. And on the instructional unit guide, if you open that up to page 2, you're going to see where it says sequence of units and pacing. And those are the units that we will be doing during our first semester, and then we have the units for second semester. And we want the teachers to do them in this order for the mobility of the district, that it really helps. So they really don't have the option of changing up the order any. The pacing that we have on the instructional unit guide, I'll show you where that is located. We have not put that up here on the front page yet because We still are firming up some of that on second semester, so we're just not ready to post all that yet. But it will eventually next year have all that. The pacing is actually within the guide right now. The next part of that on that page 2 talks about textbooks, and teachers are always wanting to know what textbooks am I going to need for this class. So we've kind of listed those out. In 8th grade, they have 2 books, the Science Spectrum and the Science Explorer series books, which is like several books, you know. But that Science Spectrum book, we do want the teachers to use that if possible, but be aware they have to have quite a bit of content knowledge to use the book. It doesn't have a lot of information in it, so you can't just give that book to kids and expect them to be able to use it and answer questions unless the teacher is providing additional information, whether it be in a lecture type format or additional reading. But that book is not made to be a standalone with kids. The one thing that I want to point out to you down here on the part, this little bottom part, is that students should be doing science. That's really important because the next gen is all about the hands-on. So if you're going into classrooms and you're not seeing a lot of hands-on instruction, we probably need to be doing some PD with your teachers. We really want to get them to the point where they feel comfortable in doing that hands-on. And sometimes it is a little bit hard for teachers to get started with that. So if you have problems or is that something I can help with, just please let me know, and I'll come and we'll see if we can't start getting them to do some more. On page 3 is the science planning guide. And this is what we use for our lesson plans. It's a little different than a unit plan. So when they do the actual lessons, we do want your teachers using the 5E model. Our secondary science teachers, it's kind of a natural thing for them to do. A lot of them do it without thinking about it. They may just have to be a little bit more cognizant of what they label the things. The America's Choice schools that we had here years ago, those teachers are all very well trained in the 5E model. And then we also have teachers that have done the 5E model when they were in school. It's been around for a long time. It is a very thought out program that works very well for science education, and it works great with the next gen science standards. So we're not going to worry about that right now, but just know that that is in that guide. The next page talks about things to consider when using the guide, and this is information put together by the instructional unit guide team on things that they thought teachers might want to know. They talk about spiraling, they talk about vocabulary, just that type of thing, and they are different for each grade level, so it's not just the same thing grade to grade. I have to find my mouse here. Okay, let's go back to the instruction unit guide, page 4. The bottom part of that, for middle school, there's a very important statement here, and that is that you have a book in your buildings that we purchased a few years ago, and it's called the Source Book for Teaching Science. You need to locate that book because that book is going to be very important to some of your teachers who haven't taught the content. We integrated the sciences this year, so everybody is teaching a little bit of life science, earth science, physics, and chemistry in every grade level 6 through 8. Some of these teachers have not ever taught those areas. Some of them have only taught like life science or only the earth science. So they may need a little bit of content help, and that book is a great place for them to begin because it summarizes the content that the students and the teachers need to know at the middle school level. So if you don't have that book, you can't locate it, we need to figure out where it is in your building so the teachers will be able to access that. We're going to look at the units and how they're laid out and how you use these units in planning in our next chunk of video. So I'm going to end the part 1 here, and we're going to then be able to pick up on part 2 looking at how these are laid out and how you use them with planning. If you have any questions, please know that you can always contact me, and I will be more than happy to answer questions or to come and help with PD at your buildings. All right, this is the end of part 1. I'd like for you, when you're ready, to start up part 2, and we will get up into the planning part of all of this.